Welcome everybody to this month's Questa Exchange. Get cozy. It's great to see you here. We're going to wait a few minutes for some other folks to turn up. But hopefully you've got a bunch of materials with you that we put in the email invite. You need some paper, some paints, some pens, some collage materials, ideally a hairdryer. That's right, a hairdryer. Okay. We're going to get going because we've only got an hour. We've got a power hour here today with Moyra. So we will let more people in as they arrive. So welcome everybody to the Questa Exchange. My name is Sam and I'm the founder of Creative Quests. We're the company, the community that run these Questa exchanges. And for those that don't know us, Creative Quest is a worldwide community and creative playground for people fueled by curiosity, people like yourselves. So over the course of the last 3 years, we have been hosting a series of month-long theme explorations that we call quests. So we've explored everything from poetry to movement, to home, to collage, to time, to sound. It's been an incredible adventure where we've really encouraged people to join these month-long explorations and see their world differently and push their creativity and our collective curiosity to new places. Because when we step into this new places that maybe we don't think are for us or they're for somebody else, it's where magic things happen. You know, we surprise ourselves. We learn new things about the world around us and our fellow human beings. We unlock new worldviews, one theme at a time. And we really do believe that the quest life is the best life. So welcome if you've not done any of our stuff before. This year's been a bit of a different year for Creative Quests. Oh yeah, and we've had lots of people through the program all over the world. It really is an amazing community. But this year has been quite a different year. After 3 years of running our program and doing all of those amazing adventures, we decided that this year we needed to take a bit of a break and really figure out what the future of Creative Quests look like. So this year we've been evolving and exploring Creative Quests in different formats. Something that's taken up a lot of our time is figuring out our first release, our first publication that is kind of co-authored by our community. We figured that we wanted to share the learnings and the discoveries, the creations from the quest that we've been on with a much wider audience beyond our program. So the sort of headline news, this is the first time that anybody outside of a very small group of people know this, is that our first book is on its way. A Quester's Guide for Exploring Your World Through Magic is the first in a series of books that we're going to be releasing. Each series in this series is inspired by a quest that we have done in the past. It is a guided journey of activities, of stories, of all sorts that guide you to see your world differently. And it's going to be coming to Kickstarter in autumn. hopefully in about a month's time. So please stay tuned for that. We're really, really excited, and this has been an incredible process to put this together. We've also been exploring creative quests in physical formats. We took a installation to Latitude Festival, which is one of the biggest arts and music festivals in the UK. And we brought a thing to life called the Five Pathways, which was a kind of a creative exploration experience that you could do around the festival. And finally, we've started shining a spotlight on the amazing folks in our Questa community. Rather than us running all the sessions, we've turned the mirror to our community and say, hey, look, there's some amazingly talented people in this worldwide crew. Does any of you want to run some sessions? So we had Hannah Singleman back in July running a session all about asking better questions. Hannah is a curiosity researcher. Last month, we had Angie Doe, who is a poet based in New York, running a session for us on finding kind of inspiration in the in-between moments of life. And today, very pleased to welcome Moyra Scott, who's been with us questing from the beginning to guide us through her process of wild art journaling. This isn't the first time that we've had Moyra join us to run a session. In fact, way back in our pilot our pilot series of quests in 2021, Moyra ran a wild art journaling workshop when we were exploring the theme of color. Every quest, we have a workshop called Guest Quester, where somebody comes in and really takes us deep into the theme that we're exploring. And Moyra and I happened upon each other, and she seemed like the perfect fit. So welcome back, Moyra. I'm going to hand over to you now. I love these sessions because I just actually get to do them. I don't have to do much facilitating. So please take the reins and introduce yourself and wild art journaling to the lovely folks here today.
Thank you, Sam. And shall I pin myself? Maybe that's a good idea. There we go. Oh, I'm all big. It's weird. Hello, everybody. I'm really glad that you can all make it today. I'm going to introduce you to my favorite thing. Actually, it really literally is one of my favorite things to do, and it's called wild art journaling. It's a creative process. It's a way of like opening up the space for your creativity and allowing yourself a little moment to just play in it without any need to produce a work of art. What you produce may be beautiful, it may be a complete mess, but it's really about just diving into that process. It's a little bit like if you're an artist, it's like a warm-up exercise. Or if you are at all familiar with the book The Artist's Way, she does morning pages, which is free writing, and we're going to be doing a bit of that. And free writing, she's a writer, so free writing makes sense for somebody to loosen themselves up and get into creative flow using writing. So I'm a visual artist, and what I feel wild art journaling is, we start with writing, and then we're going to drop off the writing and move into visuals. So we've only got, well, I don't know, 50 minutes, 49 minutes, something like that to do today. So we're going to sort of like, we'll start off, I'll shorten everything a little bit. Normally I run a session for about an hour and a half or 2 hours in person. To be honest, you can do this all day and I'm really happy doing it. But I'm going to introduce you to it today. So the process that we're going to do is we're going to do some free writing. So you'll need a pen for that. We're going to do a bit of that. We're going to do a very short guided meditation. And both of those things are to create space, like internal space. So the free writing gets, if you've got whirring thoughts flying around your brain, all the to-do lists, all the things you've been doing today, all of that, we're just going to empty that onto the page so we can clear the brain in that way. And then with meditation, we're just going to clear some space again in our head, in our body, to allow creativity to flow. And then what we will do, I will guide you through it. We work in layers, and we're going to cover up what you've written, which is a really beautiful aspect to the journaling, because I don't know about if anyone does journaling, sometimes you want to really express yourself, and there's like somebody might find it and read it. but with art journaling, you don't have to worry about it because let me just show you mine. This is one of the books I've been doing. I've got many. Not that you will necessarily end up with anything like what I've done, but I just wanted to show you a little bit. It's collage and paint mixed together. Generally speaking, I work, hang on, where's my slide together pages? So there's collage and paint together. Usually I work with random prompts. We're going to have a little bit of a go at that today. So random prompts mean you never know which way it's going to go. And you never know quite what you're going to come up with. And so the prompts are random. I normally ask people in the room to generate the prompts for me. So I don't know, it gives you a little bit of a feel of the kind of thing that you can see. There's collage, there's paint, and working in layers. With this, there is really only one rule, and that is if you are working with paint and you want to also work in layers with collage, this is what the hairdryer is for. So you can dry the paint off before you can stick on it. If you don't have paint, if you don't have a hairdryer, you might want to be a bit more collage heavy with what you're doing. You can still paint on it, but working in lots of layers might not be possible because it might all just get a bit like the things don't stick or all that kind of thing. I hope that's a reasonable kind of like outline of what we are going to do. I'm just going to close that. I've got the chat open as well if you need to ask questions. Plus, what we're going to do first is we're going to be quiet for a bit. We're all going to work on our own, doing the free writing and the meditation. And after that, feel free to unmute, ask questions. I think Sam might play some music. And yet you can put your cameras off. You don't need to be seen. The other thing, I suppose, that I really love about World Art Journaling is that it is a sketchbook practice. I show what I've done because that's what I share with the world. This is what I'm doing. But you don't have to. It's art instead of art that goes on a wall, which comes with a whole bunch of judgment and kind of like, you know, people are going to look at it. This is work that you're just doing or art that you're making just for your own pleasure. So you can close the book. You don't have to show anybody what you've done. I'm not going to make anyone show anything at the end. We might have a little show off for everyone who is willing to do that, but that's where we're at. Okay, so I think we should start. Find yourself. Oh, hello.
Can people ask questions along the way, Moyra? Is that okay?
They can ask questions along the way. I'm going to just like the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to do like let's do 4 minutes. 4 minutes of free writing. Okay. So with free writing, what you do is you start writing. You write as fast as you can. You do not stop. You do not edit yourself. If you can't think of anything to write, you just write, I can't think of anything to write. I can't think of anything to write over and over until something pops into your head. The idea is you just keep that flow going. You keep writing. It doesn't have to make sense. Nobody's going to read it. You don't have to spell properly. You don't have to write neatly. It's really about just kind of emptying your head of whatever's in there. Does anyone have any questions at this point? We're going to do it for 4 minutes. Do let me know if you have any questions. So we're just going to do that. So this is like the words. Let's get them out of our head. I'm going to put a timer on. I might do 3.5, just so we've got enough time to play with paints and all of that business. Okay, so I'm setting a little timer now. And right. Okay, so that was like 3.5 minutes. So just put the pen down and take a deep breath. Really allow your belly to kind of blow up like a balloon as you breathe in. Fill up your lungs and sigh it out. We're going to take a few deep breaths, using that breath to like breathe in as deeply as possible, and that out breath just to let go of everything you've just written. Let it go. Let go of everything that's happened right up until this present moment. Oh, I see somebody's having a bit of a shake with hands. I like that. Yeah, give your hands a bit of a shake. Just shake that off. Nice deep breaths. And if you're going to join us on a short guided meditation, find a comfortable position, close your eyes, allow your breath to settle. And take your attention and focus all the way down into your feet. You might like to give your toes a bit of a wriggle, move your feet around a bit, really connect your attention and your feet together. Feel your feet from the inside, really feeling around, noticing how your feet are right at this moment. And if you've been moving your feet, let your feet be still and see if you can feel that little buzz of aliveness in your feet, like they're being filled up with sparkling golden light. Just relax into that, and then take your attention up through your legs to where you are sitting. If you're standing, you're going to feel the weight of your body all the way through your legs. If you're sitting, check in with your sitting bones. Take a moment to feel the weight of your body sitting on your chair. Take a breath there. Now take your attention to your hands. Focus that attention into your hands. Notice where they are. You can move your hands, stretch them out. Maybe notice what you can feel with the skin of your fingertips. Maybe the temperature of the air on the back of your hand. It's really bringing that focus and attention into your hands. If you've been moving them, allow them to be still again. Let them be still and see again if you can feel that little vibration of aliveness in your hands. They're filled up with golden sparkling light. take your attention now to your breathing. Notice how it feels as you breathe in and out. Paying close attention to the physical sensations you notice as you breathe. And now, using your hearing, I want you to listen to the world around you. So we're taking our attention outside of ourselves and applying it to the world around us, reaching for the sounds that are furthest away, like a bit of a sonar, identifying what you could hear around you. Now, bring that attention back in and bring it all the way in, right into the center of your being. And as best you can, create a clearing there. When you're ready, you need to open your eyes, pick up your pen. You're going to journal just for 1 minute. And there's a prompt for this. And the prompt is, I need. That is the prompt. Just 1 minute. I need. Okay, put the pen down. What we are going to do now is we're going to cover over the writing. So I don't know how much you've got. Some page of writing. We're going to cover over. You can use torn up collage pieces. Don't think about like nice pictures or anything. Get a page that's got nothing you're interested in on it. Tear it up. Stick it down with glue, with Pritt stick if you can. You don't have to cover it all over. And if you've got it and you've got a hairdryer, then we cover over. So collage and then white paint. So I'll show you like as I've done it. But there's my writing. I'm going to get a page of a magazine. So there we go. I've got one, just crosswords on it. Just kind of very randomly cover over what I've got on the page there. We just let that go. I'm going to move into playing with the paint and the collage, starting with this base layer. So I kind of insisted, but thought it'd be good while we're meditating, while we're doing the writing, to be quiet. But from now on till the end of it, if you want to ask a question, if you want to say anything, you can unmute, you can ask me, or you can pop it in the chat. just for disclosure, I put some magazine things over the writing, and I am going to paint with white paint on top of that, just a really thin layer. Doesn't have to be completely covering anything up, because we're going to work again on top of it. And the idea is you can work in layers, you can let layers go, you can just move fast through it, respond to things creatively. And from this point, like I said, the only thing is, if you've got wet stuff, you might find it difficult to glue on top of, so you might want to dry it off in between time. Beyond that, you can't get it wrong. And if you just want to do your own merry thing, be creative in this time, feel free, follow your creative nudges.
You can't get it wrong is a very liberating few words to hear.
Yeah, there you go. And I think
no, go for it, Moyra.
I was going to say, because you can't get it wrong and you don't need to show anyone, you can get lost in the process, which I think, if you really allow that sort of openness and free-fallingness to happen, you can come up creatively with new ideas. Plus, this really present state, playful state of being while you're doing it is like a creative receiving state. So, as you can see, I've just painted a thin layer of white paint over that. And so when I run the sessions, I have an online weekly club where we do this every week. And that's how I start the whole process. That's it. I'm just going to put myself on mute while I do my hair drying, and I'm going to dry that layer off. So I hope you're not all hair drying at the moment. I was just going to say what I like to use in this process is some random prompts. So what I would love to have from anyone in the room, you just pop your hand up. I'd love a colour, please. If anyone's able to just raise their hand, I'll take the first one I get. Could you tell me a colour? Okay, petrol. Thank you, Natasha. That's an interesting colour. Could also be a prompt. So now what I'd like is a prompt which is, so prompts can be directional, I don't know, stripes, squares, something along those lines, or could be more poetic. And I'm actually hoping for a really poetic one, a poetic prompt. If nobody's got one, I've got one in the back of my head, but a poetic prompt. So things that we've had in the past is the feeling of sunshine, or we had one which was Birmingham and West Midlands, which is super hard, but and probably irrelevant to anybody who doesn't even know where those places are. But a poetic prompt, I would love to pull forth from the group as inspiration.
I'll go for one if no one else is going to jump in. Okay, someone else has gone for it.
We've got supermoon. Good.
Perfect.
Oh, we've got two. Wonderful. We can use those. So we have petrol as a colour, supermoon, and the warmth of a hug. And so just use those as creative prompts to play in your journal. I will show you what I'm doing as you go, but really just follow what kind of pops up to you. If you've got collage materials, have a look, or you can just cover your color page in the color of petrol. I'm going to forget going with petrol blue, but we'll see. Hi Neil. We are using collage and paint and following those prompts. If you've missed the whole beginning bit, you've missed the whole beginning bit. We did some journaling. There we go. We've done some free writing, we've painted over it, and now we're in sort of like collage and paint. I hope that makes sense. Do ask again if you need more clarification. And we're using the prompts supermoon, petrol, which was a colour, and or you can take it in any way you like, really. Just using them as sparks to instigate some kind of visual response. realised also in my introduction, I didn't mention about things I do, which I was going to. I might do that while we're doing stuff. So as well as doing wild art journaling, which is like my, I don't know, it's like a creative practice that connects me back with myself. Makes me very happy. It's like my happy place. I work as a coach. I do that for creative entrepreneurs, but also I work in large organizations. I help people. I say my thing is like making time for creativity. In some of those large organizations, it's helping them have time to think or time to be more strategic, helping people manage their work, which sometimes is like about organization and helping them do that. And in a way, that feels very, I don't know, it's like reducing things down to as simple as possible. And then art journaling, it's just many layers and adding more and more and more and more. So different kinds of ways of being.
Moira, I'm curious because I think most people kind of see the like artist side of themselves and like maybe the sort of, I guess the sort of what you would associate with kind of a coach and strategy and organization and productivity as being kind of antithesis of each other. And I wonder kind of how you find yourself like showing up for both those things in your work.
For me, it's like I find it really difficult to kind of like outwardly explain the two things I do, because they are almost like one's editing and kind of clearing, and to me they're both the same side of the same coin. It's like I think as a creative I'm a natural proliferator. I'll have more and more ideas. That's kind of easy. That's what happens in my life and then I kind of need the other side of it, which is about, okay, there's too many ideas, which one are we going to focus on? So to me, they balance each other, and I kind of need both. I probably would function that well in the world if I didn't concentrate on how to be organized, how to choose the idea, how to prioritize all of those kind of activities. And I wouldn't enjoy the world if I didn't get to be creative. So creative quests also haven't explained about my experience of it. That's what I've got so far. I've got a petrol blue, some people kind of like looking close, feeling warm, and in my supermoon I have the words baby love, which I guess came from these people over here holding a baby. Felt quite like the warmth of a hug. And in the sessions I do prompts about every 6 minutes. You're not going to catch them all. If you love those ones, carry on, go with it. But I'm going to ask for some more. So now I have a colour and from somebody, a colour. Oh, I could just give you a colour. Oh, I think somebody's leaning in. Beth, are you leaning in?
Gold.
Oh, we've got gold and tangerine. I love it. And gold as well. So we have gold and tangerine. And I'd like another prompt, which is a thing or an idea or a direction, a way of painting.
Climbing.
What was
Climbing.
That? Climbing.
Climbing. Yeah.
Climbing. Okay, brilliant. No, you work. Thank you for that question, Tara. So I'm just going to carry on working on this, and this may disappear completely. I'll see what happens next, but we build on it. That's why you painted on it, try it off. And if you have painted on it, you don't have a hairdryer, you can just like maybe get some tissue paper and just like dry it off. That might help you. Full of paint. Oh no! If you really need to start another one, Tara, you may. But have you got a hairdryer? That's what that's for. We'll carry on. To be honest, that's like the only thing is with the paint and drying it. That's the only ball. Right, trying it. what do you do with all the picture after you keep them? Yes, well, one of the reasons, Neil, I work in a journal and I'm creative in a sketchbook is for that very reason. I also love to paint on canvases, and I do run painting workshops, and I now have a shed for my canvases. I do sell them. Occasionally I will exhibit and, you know, sell paintings, but that's a whole kind of career in itself in a way. And for me, what I really like is the actual doing of it. So just going to show, this is for Neil. So like, this is why I work in a sketchbook. This is much easier to store than like a whole bunch of canvases. If you have too many, you should sell them. That's my advice. And or do wild art journaling. It's perfect. And yeah, well, the other thing I like about this is a kind of quite a wild art practice, but it's tabletop, right? Neil, you can't get this wrong.
How did wild art journaling begin?
So, it began with painting. In all honesty, I went on an art retreat with a woman called Flora Bowley, who's an American. I started dreaming of painting. I never used to paint, but I started dreaming of painting. Right, massive canvases, big brush strokes, and at that same time, right at the beginning of sort of blogging and that whole sort of internet thing that was just starting, and I discovered via blogs there were these things called art retreats, and I wanted to go on one, and eventually I did. And painting, I loved it. I was like painting in layers, and it was this very free form way of painting, which is you don't have an idea before you start. You kind of paint and the ideas emerge as you do it. I loved it. I loved it so much. And I live in Brighton in quite a small cottagey house, little terrace. It's not really a place to paint on massive canvases, but the being on an art retreat was just so fueling. It just gave me so much, that was glowing afterwards, and it lasted for about 6 months. I felt amazing, and I thought I'm doing one of those every year. So for about 5 years, that's what I did, just going up to there. I've got tangerine and the golden yellow on there, just covering over as I go. One of them, there was a woman called Orly Avnaveri who did art journaling, and it seemed to be a very similar process, but in a sketchbook. And that was like, oh, brilliant! I can do this at home. I can, you know, set up on a table, and it's accessible to me. So she would just do, it was collage and paint together. So there was that came from there, and I also at the same time was doing the Artist's Way, which is a book about creative recovery. It's a classic, it's been around for ages. It's really kind of amazing. It kind of mixes in. So that's where the journaling came from. So I love doing that, and I kind of combined the two. And the random prompt aspect of it, I'm doing it on my own. I just kind of go with whatever. I like to just maybe take a page, turn it over and put that on. So I don't, you know, there's this element of I don't really know what's going to happen, or I just follow whatever whim I'm finding in the pictures I find. But with the online art club, which started at the beginning of lockdown, because I used to run in-person, and I still do in-person sessions, but it became a thing that we just did to spark creative responses. So that's where it came from, and this is where it's at now. Okay, so I'm just gonna, where are we at? I've got to there. I'm gonna just dry that off so I can do another layer. And you know, to me, I can carry on doing lots of layers. So, Lou, I see where do you collect the materials for collage? I do like magazines, so I do have a couple of subscriptions, so I get magazines, but also I raid people's recycling bins. That's one of the ways I get them. People give me, they like, do you want a bag of magazines? I say yes. So I do need a shed at this point. But I find also that you don't need as much collage materials as you might think. I mean, I'm quite a painter, so I quite like playing with the layers of paint. I do like the collage aspect, but during lockdown, I did it one period. I was doing it every day, and I was using like a catalogue. I think it was a Bowden catalogue that came through the post, right? So it was just, you know, people, models, and you know, like these kind of things. But you can really do it with very little. I have done it with like one of those free things they hand out in supermarkets when I was on holiday, a little kind of brochure. It was mainly bottles of wine and jars of food. But you can do it with whatever you've got. If you want to collage, then you know, maybe, yeah. No. Okay. So climbing. Climbing.
And yeah, and Moyra, tell us about so you've been a creative quester since pretty much since the beginning.
Yep.
For the people that here that don't know Creative Quests, explain it from a sort of your point of view, having been someone that's discovered it and done many of our different themes.
So for me, I absolutely love it, and I did the one when I signed up for the whole year, that one that you did, which was a different theme every 2 months, and I love meeting other creative people and just proliferating ideas and kind of coming up with things and following paths to new ways of looking at different subjects. And so there's a like brainstorming session type thing, and you're kind of like following all the different ways you could look at a theme. And then there's is it the Notion? I think it's called Notion. So it's like it's collated, so you can see all these different things. And there was also a Discord. Anyway, for example, in one of them, I think it was sound. Somebody else had found a podcast about, it was like the first musical instruments and how humans, before they could speak, they would sing to each other, like the call and response, and then how they were using caves as musical instruments. I mean, it was like deeply fascinating, and I was like, oh, this is amazing. And then the second part of it, you had a creative project to build from, you know, your research that you've been doing. And so I wanted to, because of this idea, it was cool. It's about resonance and singing together in harmony, and how, as a human, you start to kind of, your hearts all resonate the same. You start to kind of vibrate at the same thing. Anyway, I was fascinated by this, and my project was to sing in harmony with other people. And so what has happened from that, the idea was you had to do it like as quickly and as badly as possible, and then as like, was it 100 times it, and 100 make it really small and make it really big. So the really small version was I managed to get my family, that's 2 other people, to sing Farajaka with me. It was not very harmonic, I have to say, but the other part of it was I ended up getting somebody, I found a choir leader who was prepared to just start a choir to do that. So that's still going. So yeah, it's been brilliant.
That is actually incredible to me, because that
it's incredible to me too.
I think that would have been June 2022. So over 2 years ago, you set up a choir through being inspired through Creative Quest, and it's still going.
yeah, through a kind of podcast that one person put in the group for everyone to look at, that just totally inspired me and has inspired somebody else as well. And now there is a choir.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, so that, but also like any of the subjects I really love. And I've met, obviously, I met, there was another quester in Brighton, Roz, who I also am still friends with. And I think she's in Spain at the moment, actually, but still in contact and would meet up on a regular basis. And we did a collage night. I'm doing flowers now. I've kind of gone off climbing topics.
And for anyone that is interested in joining the program that Moyra is talking about, it is back in January. We've had a fallow year this year, but it will be back for a whole year. We'll be running 4 quests in January, April, July, and October. Each of them exploring a brand new theme. We don't tell people what the themes are going to be. You sign up to go on a quest, and the theme is a surprise. And we do that to encourage people to explore parts of themselves, different topics that they may not have otherwise done, because to remain in our comfort zone creatively, although it might feel nice, it doesn't push us to interesting new places where we discover new parts of ourselves and different ways of seeing the world. So we encourage you to take that leap of faith into the unknown, and yeah, keep an eye out for our sign up, which will be coming later this year.
Super. So also, just like now we're coming to the end of our session, you might not have finished what you're doing, and you might like collage and paint into the night or the rest of the day, depending on where you are in the world. But for me, sometimes I like to, we've started with words, we've gone into the visual, played around with that, and you might want to, is there a word or something that comes to you from your experience that you can either add on to your painting or your, not painting, your wild art journaling, or maybe you could pop it in the chat, something that as you look at what you've done, might be complete mess. It might be, I'm going to put mine in because this is the one that stuck. It's words I actually found in the, doesn't have to make sense. It's going to be a bit drippy as I hold it up, but I've got my super moon, I've got some climbing, I've got a mountain with some tangerine and gold. I could, like, we could do more layers on top of it, but I've got Baby Love Mountain going there. And yet, if you haven't done the Creative Quest, I highly recommend it. It's brilliant. I love it. Absolutely love it. So the other thing I did was I did a shamanic journey.
That was a good one.
I've never done anything like that before. Goldilocks and the Daring Freedom. Oh, brilliant. Oh yeah. Awesome. Thanks for sharing, Sam.
I would love to, if people feel like they can share, I would personally, selfishly, love to see other people's, as I'm sure Moyra would too.
Yeah, should we do a gallery view?
Yeah.
Anything up for it? Everybody's in their dark mode, working on their own thing.
If you're feeling brave, turn that camera on. We're going to go around. Here we go. We can do a bit of spotlighting as we go. Okay, so we've got Moyra's here. Oh, nice. Kind of pyramid thing going on. Let's add in Natasha.
Ooh.
Where's other folks? Hang on. Gallery view. Hold it up. I'm going to keep adding you. Keep you.
Oh, I see.
Got Shayra. Add a spotlight. There's got to be an easier way of doing this. Add a spotlight. Okay, we've got some great stuff here.
The moon's strong in this. The super moon is strong.
It is a full moon right now, so it just makes sense.
Ah, there
Yes.
you go. We're feeling the moon power.
Look at this. We've got some great ones. Well done, everybody.
Oh, that's nice. TDS. I might have to take that. It's a way of wiping negativity and adding positivity. Do you know what? It really is. Like, however I'm feeling, especially if I'm in a bad mood, I rant and rave in my journaling and then just let it go and just immerse myself in a bit of creative play. And then I just feel better. Even if I'm not feeling bad, I feel better at the end of it. It really is. That you transmute it through the power of art.
Amazing. Well, look, I think we can say a massive, massive thank you to Moyra. Thank you very much, Moyra. Round of applause for Moyra.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
You absolute legend. We love you very much at Creative Quest and all of the good vibes that you always bring. You're always up for trying new stuff, and it takes you to interesting creative places, and that is the most that we can ask of anybody that joins all of the mischief that we get up to. Okay, so Moira's got a couple of bits coming up. She's got well, do you want to tell people?
If you liked it and you want to do more and you are able to get to the time zone, I do it on 10 o'clock on Sunday mornings. You're all invited to come for free on Sunday. It's at 10 to 11:30, so a little bit longer. It's part of my Wild Artists Club. Come and join it for free. There's a little sign up link there. Just pop that in again. There you are. If you click on that, you can sign up, or if you want to just join the mailing list, you can just sign up and not come. But there's a link there, or there you go, and join the Substack for more Creative Quest events as well. And if you are interested in painting on a sort of big canvas like meter square, I do that every now and again. So mailing list best place for it.
There is you'll be getting a follow-up email in about whenever this session finishes, which in the copy of that email is all of the stuff that Moyra has coming up: art retreats, workshops, connecting with her on LinkedIn, her email address, everything. So please stay tuned to that. And yeah, if you want to find out more about the quests that we run, as I say, we're going to be running a whole bunch of these next year, these month-long community quests. They are the heartbeat of what we do. They are very, very special. Stay tuned to the mailing list. And also for news on our book, yes, our debut Creative Quest guide is coming this autumn, hopefully in about a month's time. It's coming to Kickstarter. And we're going to need all the help that we can get to get this out there, because it really is a special thing. But look, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today. And yeah, stay tuned to our mailing list, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Goodbye, everybody.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks for joining in, being game. Love it.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.